They didn't break through the firewall. They didn't write a zero-day exploit. They didn't drop malware on a careless employee's flash drive in a coffee shop. Instead, the most dangerous state-sponsored hacker in the world did something terrifyingly simple. He applied for a job. He submitted a resume. He smiled on camera. He breezed through 4 separate rounds of video interviews. He crushed a rigorous technical exam. Armed with a stolen US identity and an AI-enhanced profile picture that never actually existed, he manipulated the psychology of the modern hiring process to absolute perfection. America's top cybersecurity firm, a company that spends tens of millions of dollars building digital fortresses to keep foreign threats out, voluntarily mailed a company laptop with deep network access straight into the hands of a North Korean operative. The greatest digital heist of the decade wasn't a hack, it was a hiring process. If you think your company's firewall keeps you safe, you aren't paying attention, because the new front line of cyber warfare isn't in the code, it is in the HR department. How do you convince an elite American tech company that you are a homegrown software engineer when you are sitting in a heavily monitored compound 7,000 miles away? You weaponize remote work. The operative started with the identity. A real American citizen. Let's call him John. John's social security number, address, and driver's license were swept up in a massive, unrelated corporate data breach years ago. The operative bought John's entire life on the dark web for less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Next came the face. The operative didn't use a static photo. He used real-time AI deepfake software, mapping a digitally generated, racially ambiguous, friendly face over his own movements. When he blinked, the avatar blinked. When he smiled, the avatar smiled. Then came the voice. An audio modulation filter stripped away his accent, replacing it with the flat, practiced cadence of a typical American tech worker. During the video interviews, the hiring managers noticed a slight lag in the audio. The video was a tiny bit degraded. But what does a hiring manager do when a candidate has a spotty connection? They don't assume it is a state-sponsored spy using a deepfake filter. They assume the candidate has terrible Wi-Fi. It's a universal, relatable frustration. And the technical exam? He passed it flawlessly. Not by cheating, but because he is actually that good. He is a world-class engineer. The company's recruiters were thrilled. They found a rockstar, a perfect culture fit. They checked his references, which were just other operatives in the same unit, and formally offered him a 6-figure salary. He accepted. The paperwork cleared. Now, the company had to give him the keys to the castle. When a modern company hires a remote worker, they overnight ship a secure, encrypted MacBook. This machine is locked down. It is loaded with tracking software, endpoint security, and strict VPN protocols. But that laptop didn't ship to Pyongyang. It shipped to a quiet, middle-class suburb in Ohio. This is the physical logistics of the infiltration, the sheer genius of the IT mule network. The operative doesn't need to defeat location tracking software. He doesn't need to smuggle hardware across international borders or spoof a GPS satellite. He simply hires an American middleman. Imagine a spare bedroom in a suburban house in Ohio. Inside, dozens of corporate laptops sit open on cheap folding tables, all plugged into power strips, all wired into a regular domestic internet router. This is a laptop farm. The mule is often an ordinary American gig worker. Sometimes they are recruited through online job boards, paid a few $100s a month in Bitcoin just to receive packages, open the laptops, turn them on, and connect them to the local Wi-Fi. Many of them have no idea they are participating in international espionage. They just think it's a weird, easy side hustle. The Ohio Mule receives the cybersecurity firm's MacBook. He opens it. He connects it to the router. Then, he plugs a small device into the USB port, a hardware-based remote access tool. On the other side of the planet, the North Korean operative logs in. Look at this through the eyes of the cybersecurity firm's multi-million-dollar security dashboard. Their intrusion detection systems are hunting for foreign IP addresses. They are scanning for unauthorized hardware. They are waiting for malicious code injections. But the system sees absolutely none of that. The dashboard just shows an authorized company Mac connecting from an authorized American IP address in Ohio using the exact credentials HR created yesterday. The hardware is real. The geographical location is real. The network traffic is entirely domestic. Only the ghost controlling the mouse is a lie. The firewall wasn't breached. It was rendered completely irrelevant. And for 2 weeks, the ghost gets to work. To understand why a highly trained North Korean operative is doing routine IT work for an American company, you have to understand the brutal arithmetic of the regime. North Korea is strangled by global sanctions. They cannot export coal. They cannot export weapons legally. They are starved of the one thing dictatorships need to survive: hard foreign currency. For years, the world viewed North Korean hackers through a specific lens: aggressive and destructive. The infamous Lazarus group became notorious for robbing the Central Bank of Bangladesh and hacking global cryptocurrency exchanges. But robbing banks is loud. It draws the attention of the FBI, the NSA, and the global intelligence apparatus. So, the regime evolved. They realized that infiltrating an American HR department is infinitely easier than breaking cryptographic security at a bank. The state identifies these operatives as children. If a kid in Pyongyang shows an aptitude for mathematics and logic, the state pulls them from their normal life. They are put into specialized military-run academies. They learn to code before they learn to drive. They are trained in Python, C++, and network architecture. They are forged into elite developers. And then they are deployed. They aren't sent to a battlefield. They are sent to a keyboard. Their mission is to infiltrate the Western tech economy, quietly blend in, and siphon capital back to the motherland. This specific operative wasn't trying to drop ransomware. He was playing the long game. Day 14, 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time. For 2 weeks, the operative acts like a model employee. He logs in on time. He pushes clean, efficient code. He participates in the company's Slack channels, complaining about the rainy weather in Ohio. He builds trust. Because in the world of advanced persistent threats, trust is the ultimate vulnerability. You don't break the door down if you can convince the guard to hand you the keys. But tonight, the operative gets greedy. Tonight, he isn't coding, he is pivoting. Inside the cybersecurity company's Security Operations Center, a dark, multi-million-dollar room that looks like a NASA control deck, a single, low-priority alert flashes on a monitor. It is not an external DDoS attack. It is an internal flag. The new hire's authorized, company-issued MacBook is attempting to download an unapproved software payload from an obscure external server. A Tier 2 analyst spots the alert. At first glance, it looks like a rookie mistake. Tech companies hire brilliant developers who constantly break IT rules to download niche tools they prefer. The analyst opens a direct message on Slack. "Hey man, seeing some weird traffic coming from your machine. Everything okay?" The response is immediate. It is calm. It is written in perfect conversational American English. "Hey, yeah, sorry about that. My home router has been dropping packets all night and driving me crazy. I'm just running a diagnostic script I found on a forum to troubleshoot the DNS. Should I kill it?" Stop and analyze this response. It is a masterpiece of social engineering. It is polite. It offers a highly plausible excuse, and it plays on the universal human frustration of terrible home internet. 99% of IT workers would reply, "Yeah, just kill the script and reboot the VPN and close the ticket." But this analyst doesn't close the ticket. Something feels off. He looks closer at the telemetry of the so-called diagnostic script. The code isn't scanning a home router. It is quietly mapping the cybersecurity firm's Active Directory. It is hunting for administrative privileges. It is blindly feeling its way through the dark, looking for the digital vault where the company stores its clients' most sensitive security vulnerabilities. The analyst's blood runs cold. This isn't an IT mistake. It's a surgical strike, and it's coming from inside the house. The timeline accelerates from hours to seconds. The SOC doesn't send another Slack message. They hit the kill switch. They instantly revoke the new hire's credentials. They lock his accounts. They sever the laptop's connection to the corporate intranet. 7,000 miles away, the operative stares at a black screen. He knows the window has closed. He doesn't panic. He doesn't try to brute force his way back in. He simply unplugs. The IT department scrambles. They call the phone number on his HR file. It rings out to a dead VoIP line. They email his personal address. It bounces back. Desperate, they dispatch local police to the Ohio address, listed on his W-2 tax forms for an emergency wellness check. When the police arrive, they don't find a software engineer. They find a confused homeowner who has never heard of the employee. But the homeowner admits that, yes, they receive packages for a guy on the internet who pays them in crypto just to turn laptops on and plug them into the wall. The employee is gone. The ghost has vanished. The FBI takes over the timeline. When federal investigators start pulling apart the digital debris left inside the Ohio laptop farm, they realize the company's Tier 2 analyst didn't just stop a corporate data breach. He interrupted a shadow economy. Investigators traced the bank accounts where the HR department had been routing the new hires' paychecks. And that is when the true scale of the operation snaps into focus. The operative didn't infiltrate this elite cybersecurity firm to steal proprietary code and sell it on the dark web. He did it for something much simpler and much more reliable, a $160,000 base salary. Every 2 weeks, the cybersecurity firm deposited thousands of dollars into what they thought was a US bank account. Within seconds, automated scripts converted that direct deposit into stablecoins. It was then tumbled through a labyrinth of decentralized crypto exchanges, washed clean, and routed directly to Pyongyang. America's top cyber defenders weren't just breached. They were unwittingly paying for North Korea's ballistic missile program, one bi-weekly paycheck at a time. And the most terrifying part? This operative is not an anomaly. The FBI and the Department of Justice estimate there are thousands of highly trained North Korean IT workers currently sitting in the payroll databases of Fortune 500 companies, tech startups, and defense contractors. They are passing interviews. They are logging into Slack. They are writing the code that powers American infrastructure. They don't have to break into the fortress because we are holding the door open and handing them a salary to walk inside. The system built to keep the world's most dangerous actors out of our networks was completely bypassed by a fake smile, an American mule, and a W-2 tax form. The operative is gone, but the playbook he used is still working perfectly. So tomorrow morning, when you log into your daily remote stand-up, look at the black boxes and the silent avatars on your screen. How sure are you that the person typing on the other end is actually who they say they are?